Hey everyone, I'm Maddie and today we will be going through Unit 4, Area of Study 1, the demand for sleep, dot point 3. Now, this dot point reads the differences in and explanations for the demands for sleep across the lifespan with reference to total amount of sleep and changes in a typical pattern of sleep, meaning the proportion of REM and NREM. So, on our notes section, you can purchase these below, the ATAR Wizard complete Unit 3 and 4 notes. On these notes, it is the section called Sleep and Age that we'll be going through today. Cool. So we'll start sort of from the start of the life and then we're going to move forward as we go through. So we've got the newborn and infant. So during this stage, sleep is irregular and occurs at any time during the day because the circadian rhythm has not yet formed. So if you've been around babies recently, you'll notice they will just sleep anytime. They don't have a circadian rhythm, so they don't have that biological body clock which is telling them, which has learned yet to make them sleep when it's dark at nighttime and awake when it's the daytime. So they need a lot of sleep and they sleep at any time. More than half of their sleep is REM sleep because they're having high levels of brain development, which we predict occurs through REM sleep, though we're not entirely sure. And then their newborn and infant, their sleep onset also occurs through REM rather than NREM 1. So NREM 1 is for adults, or onset occurs through NREM 1 for adults, more so. Cool. So then we're moving into the 2 to 12 month stage. And in this stage, sleep becomes more regular, with sleep becoming more common at night. So as these babies get older, still under a year, but getting a bit older, it's more common, and every child is different, but it's more common for them to start sleeping more at night and less during the day. By 12 months, children are usually sleeping for approximately 14 to 15 hours per night and maybe having a nap during the day. Again, it's highly dependent on what that child is like. Now, young children start to spend less time asleep, so the time sleep to sleep goes down as these children are getting older, and their REM decreases as the speed of their brain development decreases, and these children are harder to wake up compared to adults and the children younger than them. So it's difficult to wake up these young children, and which is often why you can be talking a lot and a younger child won't wake up, whereas an older child would hear you and wake up. Sometimes the first REM stage is also skipped in these young children. Adolescents, so teenagers, total time asleep and REM decreases. There is an increase in stage 2 sleep, so NREM 2 that should say. And slow wave deep sleep, or NREM 3, decreases. Less sleep than required tends to occur, which is due to environmental factors and social factors. So in adults, there's an average of 8 hours sleep per night and a gradual loss of stage 3 and 4 sleep, which the new study design doesn't look at stage 4 sleep, so don't need to worry about that. But stage 3 is decreases as we get older. The length of sleep episodes also reduces. So as adults get older, they tend to have more brief periods of awakening, so they'll spend more time awake during the night, and which is less common in younger people, often will sleep through the entire night, whereas with adults they don't. They tend to have what we call these brief periods of awakening where you're just awake during the night. Adults tend to go to sleep earlier and wake up earlier as they get older. Sleep duration decreases further as in elderly as people get older. Elderly people find it harder to sleep, and the brief periods of awakening during the night tend to increase. I know for me, but I think certainly a lot of people, though, if you have a chat to the older people in your life, like elderly, maybe not your parents, but like maybe your parents, if you chat to them, they'll say that they spend a lot of time awake during the night and can find it really difficult to get to sleep. And yeah, that pretty much covers it for Unit 4 Area Study 1 and that last dot point. So again, looking at, it's still important to look at how this is going to relate to what we talked about in dot point 1 with the EEG, the EOG, and the EMG, and just memorizing key points in each of these, like young children, adolescents, adults, key points to differentiate them all from each other. So if you get a question that is like, differentiate the typical sleep pattern of a young child and an adult, you can say, well, young children have a higher proportion, sleep for longer than adults tend to be, and might have a high proportion of REM sleep. And you can just skip straight to those facts without having to stop during your psych or your exam and think too much about that. It should be pretty automatic. Now, if you're having trouble understanding any of this, or you want to go into more depth, because this really just skims the surface of these topics, and so if you want to go into more depth or talk about it again, you can book one-on-one tutoring with me via the link in the bio, and you can grab a copy of these notes that we've gone through, the complete psychology ATAR Wizard units 3 and 4 notes. You can grab a copy of them also via the link in the bio. In the meantime, happy studying, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode where are we going to go over? Unit 4, Area of Study 1, dot point 4, which is the effects of sleep deprivation, and we're going to talk about affective and cognitive and behavioural effects and functioning, and how this all compares to someone who may be intoxicated or under the effects of alcohol. So I look forward to seeing you there, and remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.